Come in, bring it in some.
Mike Enriquez helps former prisoners get their commercial driver's license. He's been doing it for years since he got out of prison. It's the goal of the program, pay it forward.
If you can save one, that one can save others. And that resonated with me.
It wasn't always this way. Mike has former drug, theft, and DUI convictions. He has spent more than half of his adult life locked up. The most recent conviction was for being caught with a weapon. He was sentenced to 75 months in prison. Mike was out on supervised release in 2020 when he was caught with drugs, so he was sent back to prison.
In my mind, he was just a bad guy, and I told my wife several times, I'm like, I just hope somebody sticks him when he's in there.
Mike's ex-father-in-law wrote to KCTV5 about drug charges. The night in question was actually before COVID. Mike was sent back to prison for the drugs, but it was considered a violation of his supervised release. Formal charges came more than 3 years later. In the meantime, that ex-father-in-law became a huge supporter of Mike.
He's different now.
Mike has an honest job. When he's not working, you can generally find him with his daughter. Milani is now 10. Mike is a father figure to little Leo, too. He's just 4. Family photos reveal everyday life, celebrations, and even baptisms.
And here I am now with, my life on track and standing on a firm foundation. Here I am facing losing everything.
Losing everything because prosecutors waited more than 3 years to charge him. And at this point in time, more than 4 years have rolled by.
Why wait till after they've rebuilt their life to take it all away and have to do the whole thing all over again?
We want them to rehabilitate. We want them to join society and be productive members of society, and he's done that.
For years, he's done that. He's gone from being a tax burden to a taxpayer. It leaves Mike's supporters questioning, why now? Mike has the same question.
You want the person to be rehabilitated, to be involved in their kids' lives. When I'm doing all these things currently and have been doing all these things, it doesn't feel like it would be the just thing to send me back to prison.
We were there at a recent hearing in federal court. Mike's bosses were there too, hoping a judge would listen.
I want the judge to know that, if you feel you speak for justice, let it be for justice, but also to help save people's lives.
When they change, you still have the old rules. It didn't make any sense to me.
We reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office for an explanation. They declined to make a comment, but point out this is within the statute of limitations, and COVID delayed some charges.
It sounds more likely that this was a low priority and it was at the bottom of a pile and it eventually got to the top of a pile.
We checked in with Peter Joy, a legal ethics professor from Washington University.
I just think it's unjust. If the government is going to bring charges against someone, they should bring them close in time to when they have sufficient proof to prove the crime.
Weeks later, Mike made a tough decision.
Today I'll be pleading guilty, and I'm responsible for my actions, so I'm just holding myself accountable.
Mike pled guilty to a lesser charge of possession with intent to distribute. Mike's public defender asked the judge to consider release until September sentencing, where he will argue for probation.
I've been a public defender for over 31 years, and Michael's case is definitely rare, in my opinion, and pretty extraordinary.
He called Mike the exception, but the federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
He was taken away in handcuffs, yeah. It's kind of sad to let somebody out and really make it and then pull them back in.
After years of turning his life around, it ends where it started. Mike is back behind bars.